KTSM 9 News weekdays.
Coming up, does this man look familiar to you? Well, he's a man who's accused of hitting and killing a 26-year-old woman in Sunland Park with his truck. Well, get this, he's been arrested again. We're going to tell you what new charges he is now facing. Then Texas is temporarily blocked from requiring every public school classroom to display a copy of the 10 Commandments. What a federal judge is saying on the matter. And we've been seeing a light drizzle across town. How long will this rainy weather stick around, Robert?
Monica, if you get drops today, consider yourself lucky, and tomorrow the storms go away for a while as we heat up. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We're live on KTSM 9+, and your news starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News first at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+. I'm Monica Cortez. Well, we do start off with a traffic update. Now, as we first told you on KTSM.com, El Paso Fire responded to a call of a crash on McCombs and US 54. As we live streamed the emergency response, we saw an ambulance, a fire truck, and first responders at the scene. Now, according to fire officials, one patient refused treatment at the scene, meaning no one was taken to the hospital. The scene was eventually turned over to police. As a matter of fact, we want to take you out live to that same area, and as you can tell, everything is now clear. So you don't have to worry about any major delays in your commute, at least not in this part of the city. And we do have new details of the man who is accused of hitting and killing a 26-year-old woman in Sunland Park. He has been arrested again. Now, if you remember, Vicente Vasquez was charged with the hit and run that killed Graciela Citlali Tonacin Sass on July 3rd. He later bonded out of jail. Well, he's now facing 2 new charges of aggravated DWI and driving while having a license suspended. This is a look at the scene captured the night of the deadly incident on Sunland Park and Appaloosa Drive. Court documents obtained by KTSM reveal that this was not Vasquez's first offense. The 61-year-old had multiple DWI convictions in Texas and New Mexico and was sentenced to 8 years by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice in 2017. As of last check, Vasquez has not bonded out of his recent arrest. Well, prosecution blocked. An El Paso judge has put a pause on Attorney General Ken Paxton's attempt against former Congressman Beto O'Rourke's political group called Powered by People. This is all according to the Texas Tribune. Judge Annabelle Perez of the 41st Judicial District Court issued a temporary restraining order Tuesday. Now, as we've told you, Paxton filed a lawsuit against O'Rourke, alleging that O'Rourke and his organization are operating a misleading and fraudulent scheme to raise personal funds for Democratic lawmakers who fled the state to break a quorum in the Texas House. A district court in Tarrant County also issued a temporary restraining order preventing O'Rourke and his organization from raising money. O'Rourke is visiting the El Paso area tonight, and our very own Jesus Baltazar will have a lot more coming up at 5. Well, there is an alert from the Las Cruces Police Department about unusual overdose activity in Las Cruces and Doña Ana County. This following 7 reported drug overdoses, including 2 deaths since Sunday. According to police, a 30-year-old man and a 26-year-old man both died due to overdoses that happened within the Las Cruces city limits. This month, the high-intensity drug trafficking area for New Mexico issued the alert and learned of 21 other overdoses across the state, with 5 being deadly in Doña Ana County, and most of those happening in Las Cruces. LCPD sent KTSM a statement reading in part, quote, "At this point, we have not received any drug test results, but fentanyl was a suspected drug in most of these cases. This is very unusual for Doña Ana County. We've also received reports from the New Mexico Crime Lab that carfentanil has been showing up in the drug supply, so it may be related to these overdoses," end quote. Carfentanil is a potential synthetic opioid that was originally designed as a tranquilizer for larger animals. The opioid has not been approved for human consumption. Well, the Sun Metro explosion that killed 2 people and left several others hurt earlier this year was caused by a punctured gas cylinder after a bus fell off a hydraulic lift. Now, that's according to a new report by the fire marshals obtained by KTSM. That report states that this led to the uncontrolled release of flammable gas. The deadly explosion happened. The incident was ruled unintentional, and the case is now closed. All right, we do want to take a little break from all of our headlines this afternoon and take a look outside using our tower camera. And as you can see, we are looking at those, cumulus clouds in the sky in this particular area. But guys, I don't know, am I going crazy? Robert, did I just hear thunder outside of our studio?
Yeah, you probably did. No, we still have a chance of storms today, but it will be different from yesterday. Yesterday, of course, we had the flooding, west side and east side. This time, these things are moving, so if you get some rain, consider yourself lucky tonight. All right, 93 degrees at the airport right now. Dew point at 56. We've got 29% relative humidity. Either we just heard thunder over the studios or somebody dropped a tray of coffee in the hallway. Either way. Now, here they are, little spotty thunder showers moving quickly from the northeast down toward the southwest. Right here over El Paso. Yep, there it is. Not far, but north of us off of Sunland Park, right around Cañetillo up there. Quiet in the other parts of the county. Little spotty cells forming over Otero County, and some nice thunder showers rolled quickly through Las Cruces, giving some much needed rainfall there. We'll keep that chance of isolated storms in for tonight, but then they'll taper off overnight and we'll say goodbye to storm chances for several days. Tomorrow, we're close to 100 at 99 degrees. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you. Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is pulling back on funding for wind projects and solar panels on farmlands. In today's Political Minute, News Nation Chief Washington correspondent and host of The Hill, Blake Berman, breaks down the shifting attitudes from Washington on renewable energy.
The Trump administration says it's gone with the wind for some renewable energy funding. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. The Agriculture Department now cutting some support for solar and wind energy on U.S. farmland. The president writing Wednesday, quote, "We will not approve wind or farmer-destroying solar. The days of stupidity are over in the USA." Former President Joe Biden supported solar and wind projects during his administration, including in rural areas and on farmland. Over the years, the USDA has given out billions of funds for clean energy projects as a way to reduce pollution and lower costs. While renewable energy projects are still overwhelmingly popular with Americans, a Pew Research Center survey from June shows support for them has also been declining. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, residential electricity costs have increased 9.5% since January. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Well, coming up, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem promising much-needed assistance to the residents of Ruidoso. We take to our comments to hear your opinion on her visit. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+. Always putting
Same-day eye exam, same-day glasses. 2 pairs plus eye exam for only $79.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Homeland Secretary Security Secretary Kristi Noem, she visited Ruidoso yesterday to tour flood-damaged areas. Now, as we've been telling you, Ruidoso, of course, faced flash flooding last month as heavy rainfall fell in the burn scar areas from last year's South Fork and Salt fires. 3 people died from the flooding, with hundreds of homes and communities impacted. And the federal government also issued a major disaster declaration for New Mexico in July to provide funding for communities that experienced damage from the floods. Now, we did share the story on all of our social media pages, and many of you had a lot to say. We're going to start off with Canyon Cabins, who writes, "We're grateful for this announcement and sincerely hope that any funding released is obtained by the business owners and residents who have been affected either physically or economically," end quote. Nico M. Steelers posted this comment saying, quote, "After many administrations come and gone, Ruidoso gets the attention it so and well deserves. Now, flooding and fires have diminished its tourism," end quote. And Ken Coley writes, "Making sure it goes directly to them and not into the state's coffers," end quote. And of course, here at KTSM, we love hearing your opinion, so make sure you're always following us on all of our social media platforms to stay in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
% APR financing for 72 months. Visit 6330 Montana for more details.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
What's that sound? What's going on, Robert?
I don't want to push the panic button around here, but there was a mechanical problem with the coffee machine.
I know. Isn't it crazy how one little problem just
snowballs?
First world problems, guys. So you couldn't use your beautiful mug today.
I know. Come on, let's do the weather.
Wake up.
Wake up, wake up. Okay, all right. We do have some thunder showers to talk about. Let's take a look at the Radar from yesterday. Of course, yesterday we were facing a significantly elevated moisture level in addition to instability, stronger thunder showers, more widely scattered. Of course, we had a flood warning right here in the Upper Valley and the west side. That was yesterday. Yesterday on the east side, this is what we were looking at about 5:30. Heavy rain bands stretching from the county line down toward Clint and Fabens. That will not be the case today because the thunder showers that we do get, the rain would be brief, and these storms are cooking. They're moving quickly at about 20 to 25 miles per hour from the northeast down toward the southwest. Radar composite right now, most of El Paso County quiet. We do have one storm near Cañuetil, which I'll show you right along 54. This is the most promising development right here. And of course, we had a little cluster of fast-moving thunder showers move right through the heart of Las Cruces a little bit earlier. On the radar composite, it was coming down right in the heart of town for a while, but that heavy rainfall only lasted about 10 minutes because the whole system moved out of Las Cruces fast. So no threat of flooding tonight here on the west side. Of course, we have this little isolated, there it moves so quickly. It was cropped up right here next to Cañuetil, quickly passed over the freeway, down across the valley. No flooding threat out of a storm that's moving that quickly. Now we'll keep that chance of storms in for a while tonight, but anything we get, the rain is going to be brief tonight. So if you do get something, consider yourself lucky. Tomorrow I'm completely pulling out the chance of storms. We're not going to have anything. A high temperature of 99 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and we should be storm free with a much drier feel in the afternoon. Allergy-wise, no change here. 9s across the board, next 3 days, high range. Low temperatures tonight, going down to 49 in Cloudcroft. That sounds good. 63 Alamogordo, 65 Deming, 72 Juarez, 72 for Van Horn. Your high temperatures tomorrow going up a little bit. 94 Alamogordo, 97 Deming, 100 for Juarez, and 95 for Van Horn. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, fast moving, isolated thunderstorms clearing overnight tonight. 65 your low temperature tomorrow, your high at 96 degrees. We'll see mostly sunny skies, maybe a couple of clouds here or there. That's about all. 72 low temperature for us at the International Airport tonight. Anything we get is going to be moving quickly, and it will be isolated in nature. No major heavy rain threat tonight. Tomorrow, 99 degrees, the high temperature. Lots of sunshine, couple of clouds, and those dew point temperatures really drop, so it'll feel a lot more dry and comfortable. Now, coming up within 30 minutes, I'll have your exclusive 9-day forecast. We'll talk about how many days storm-free. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
Welcome back. A local elementary school is getting some big upgrades thanks to more than $7 million in bond funding. Canutillo ISD's Bill Childress Elementary held a groundbreaking on numerous renovations planned, including to their HVAC system and security measures. According to the principal, upgrades will more than likely take all school year to complete, but she says they are well worth the wait, especially with the area of Vinton growing so rapidly.
We have a lot of growth in the village of Vinton with new developments being built. So we definitely want to make sure that we have a school that we are the school of choice for our incoming families to the district.
Now, voters passed a $387 million Canutillo bond last year, and it was the largest per capita school bond ever approved in El Paso County. Well, a new motorsports facility is coming to Fabens, and it's called the Pan American Speedway. El Paso County officials say it's a $17 million investment. The complex is expected to feature 2 tracks, one for cars, motorcycles, and go-karts, and another that will be a rental track for families, corporate events, and community engagement. The complex is also expected to create 29 full-time jobs, and Pan Am Speedway officials say the facility will be 66 acres with another 20 acres open for development in the future.
There is nothing like this in El Paso. There's nothing like this within 6 hours. Phoenix is the closest that you'll get as far as a facility like the one we're going to build. To the east of us, the closest is San Antonio or Austin. So we are in the perfect spot to develop something like this. This place is what I call a hole in the south that is not filled, and we're going to fill it.
Now, officials are planning on a groundbreaking sometime in September or October of this year. All right, guys, don't go anywhere.
Inspection report, roadside assistance, and much more. Visit 1490 Lee Trevino to learn more today.
Welcome back, everyone, to KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Monica Cortez. We begin with new details of the man who is accused of hitting and killing a 26-year-old in Sunland Park. Now, he has been arrested again. Now, as we've told you, Vicente Vasquez was charged with the hit and run that killed Graciela Citlali Tonasin Sas on July 3rd. Now, he later bonded out of jail. He's now facing 2 new charges of aggravated DWI and driving while having his license suspended. This is a look at the scene captured right now. You'll see it on your screen in just a bit, but it was captured the night of the incident on Sunland Park and Opelousas Drive. Court documents obtained by KTSM revealed that this was not Vasquez's first offense. In fact, the 61-year-old had multiple DWI convictions in Texas and New Mexico and was sentenced to 8 years by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice in 2017. Well, there is an alert from the Las Cruces Police Department about unusual overdose activity in Las Cruces and Doña Ana County. This is all following 7 reported drug overdoses, including 2 deaths since Sunday. According to police, a 30-year-old man and a 26-year-old man both died due to the overdoses that happened within the Las Cruces city limits. Last month, the high-intensity drug trafficking area for New Mexico issued the alert and learned of 21 other overdoses across the state, with 5 of them being deadly in Doña Ana County, and most of those happening in Las Cruces. LCPD sent KTSM a statement reading, quote, "At this point, we have not received any drug test results, but fentanyl was the suspected drug in most of these cases. This is very unusual for Doña Ana County." We've also received reports from the New Mexico Crime Lab that carfentanil has been showing up in the drug supply, so it may be related to those overdoses, end quote. Now, carfentanil is a potent synthetic opioid that was originally designed as a tranquilizer for larger animals, and the opioid has not been approved for human consumption. Well, the Texas House is debating a bill to implement a new U.S. congressional map for the state. Now, the legislators are scheduled to vote on the Republican plan to redraw the map sometime today. The vote comes after Democratic lawmakers fled the state to block a vote. Our Adam Schwager has the latest from Austin.
0 for 12.
87 ayes and 51 nays. The motion at table prevails.
That's how many times Democrats tried to make a change to the bill. Among the failures, a proposal to make the federal government release the Epstein files, a proposal to create an independent redistricting committee, and a proposal to ban mid-decade redistricting.
Did you express any concerns about the potential for racial gerrymandering?
The bill's author, Todd Hunter, took several questions from his Democratic colleagues about the legality of the map, many raising concerns that the new districts dilute the influence of minority voters. Hunter said if those members wanted to have more community input, they shouldn't have fled the state the night before the vote was scheduled to be taken.
You left 7 to 18 days leaving this state. My view, the public could have been involved, the whole caucus could have been involved.
While the Democrats don't have the votes to stop this at the state capitol, their likely next step is a legal challenge, hoping courts will block the map.
Texas redistricting maps have been found to violate the Voting Rights Act every decade since the 1970s. I don't know why this legislature is so hell-bent on keeping that shameful streak going.
Also on the table, California Governor Gavin Newsom's proposal to change their maps to counteract the move. However, that move requires voter approval, which wouldn't be settled until this November. In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
Now, at the moment the vote took place, the call on the House ended, allowing the quorum-breaking Democrats to leave the Capitol on their own volition and without a Department of Public Safety escort. Well, prosecution blocked. An El Paso judge has put a pause on Attorney General Ken Paxton's attempt against former Congressman Beto O'Rourke's political group called powered by people. That's all according to the Texas Tribune. Judge Annabelle Perez of the 41st Judicial District Court issued a temporary restraining order Tuesday. And as KTSM has told you, Paxton filed a lawsuit against O'Rourke, basically saying that O'Rourke and his organizations are operating a misleading and fraudulent scheme to raise personal funds for Democratic lawmakers who fled the state to break a quorum in the Texas House. Now, District Court in Tarrant County also issued a temporary restraining order preventing O'Rourke and his organization from raising any more money. O'Rourke is visiting the El Paso area tonight, and our very own Jesus Baltazar will have a lot more coming up at 5. Well, Texas is temporarily blocked from requiring every public school classroom to display a copy of the 10 Commandments. A federal judge in San Antonio issued a temporary injunction blocking Senate Bill 10 from taking effect. Now, several civil rights groups brought a lawsuit on behalf of 16 Texas families to challenge the law, which passed earlier this year during the regular session. They argued it's unconstitutional and violates the separation of church and state, and the judge agreed with that argument in his ruling. He concluded his order by writing, quote, "For those who disagree with the court's decision and who would do so with threats, vulgarities, and violence, grace and peace unto you." All right, let's go ahead and take a moment here to talk about weather because, well, this is the view. If we're taking a live picture from our tower camera, and you'll see those nice, beautiful white cumulus clouds. They don't look very threatening at this hour, and I haven't heard any thunder outside of our studio. Robert, what's it all looking like?
Well, you got a few drops on your car today.
I did.
Okay,
I thought
that's
someone was
good.
spitting at me, and no, it was rain.
Nature was spitting at you.
Yeah.
And we were more than spit last night at my house.
Yeah.
It was pouring for a while, so it was good. And now we have to say goodbye to our storms. We have a chance tonight of little hit or miss isolated storms this evening, but by tomorrow, perfectly dry, and we're going to stay that way for nearly a week. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 94 at the airport, 96 Juarez, 92 Las Cruces, 95 Deming with partly cloudy skies and little isolated thunder showers. The difference tonight, we don't have an environment that's conducive for the heavy rainfall or the flooding events that we saw yesterday afternoon. Look at the speed at which these storms moved in from the east and then pass right through the heart of Las Cruces. Sure, they had some really intense rainfall, but when it only lasts 5 minutes, not really a threat at all. Same story right near Cañetillo, little isolated cell that picked up past the freeway, and then that was it. Well, tomorrow, a lot of sunshine, couple of clouds, and 99. We're going to stay in those upper 90s all the way through the weekend. I'm going to have your detailed 9-day forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, new files related to Jeffrey Epstein will soon be turned over to Congress. And it all comes after a House committee subpoenaed the DOJ for documents and now begins questioning witnesses about the case. Washington correspondent Maddie Beer-Temple has the latest on the lawmakers' investigation.
The Justice Department will start giving documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case to lawmakers Friday.
The administration knows this is what Congress wants, Republicans and Democrats. And I think President Trump has said clearly he wants to release all the documents. So we're going to get the documents.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says the goal is transparency for the American people. But Democrats on the committee, like Virginia Congressman Suhas Subramaniam, are skeptical they'll get the full picture from the Trump administration.
Why are they having to release them in a slow drip and selectively? And so I have a lot of concerns about their plan right now.
In addition to seeking documents, the committee is also conducting closed-door depositions.
This week, they questioned former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr. According to Comer, Barr said he had no information to implicate President Trump.
He was pretty confident that there was nothing in there pertaining to President Trump that would be anything negative.
The committee also issued subpoenas for former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
But they're not bringing in Alex Acosta because he was a Trump appointee, and they're certainly not bringing in the most important person in all of this, which is the AG Pam Bondi, who promised all of this in the first place.
Acosta is the former federal prosecutor who negotiated a controversial plea deal with Epstein. Comer says he's open to interviewing whomever.
Bring in everyone that we think can add information to the investigation.
In Washington, I'm Maddie Beer-Temple.
Well, New Mexico officials are voicing their opinions after a major ruling by a federal appeals court blocked the state's 7-day waiting period on gun purchases. The 7-day waiting period narrowly passed in the 2024 legislative session. In a statement, Farmington Republican Senator Bill Scherer said in a part, quote, "Criminals certainly don't wait 7 days before breaking into our homes and threatening our families and properties," end quote. Yesterday, Senator Crystal Brantley said that she hopes both sides of the aisle can come together to tackle New Mexico's crime problem.
As we move forward, that's what we're looking forward to doing, is actually reducing the number of repeat criminals that are plaguing the state of New Mexico.
Now, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham also released a statement on yesterday's ruling saying she was disappointed and, quote, "New Mexico's waiting period law was carefully crafted to minimize gun violence while respecting Second Amendment rights," end quote. Yesterday's ruling sends the case back down to a lower court. Well, parents of babies born during the pandemic who only knew a world where social distancing was a norm are gearing up for the first day of school. And even if they went to daycare, experts say this new social phase presents brand new challenges. Lauren Melendez breaks down 3 big expert tips to tackle this transition.
They interacting. Number 1, emotional regulation. There's going to be outbursts. Robin Eisman, a licensed clinical social worker, says, don't freak out. Pair solutions to feelings.
And a lack of impulse control. Kids, they were delayed in being able to practice those skills. They weren't around other adults.
Mom, Dad, you might not have worked on delaying gratification because you felt guilty for all the things your kids couldn't do. So try this.
When you feel scared, this is the adult that you can look for.
Number 2, for nerves and social interactions, name a feeling and validate it. Let's face it, there were less play dates. Is there one thing you're worried about?
I'm worried that I'm not going to get friends.
Separating from your parent is supposed to be a little unnerving. And when parents try to avoid that, be like, you'll be fine.
That doesn't always help.
I'm also sad to separate from you.
Eisman says embrace the reality that being apart is scary. After this, mom used a little trial and error, sending her son Jack to day camp.
It was not a success.
She learned to affirm his feelings.
We've been working very purposely this last year on having him go to his pre-K a little longer.
Number 3, when it comes to cognitive skills, accept potential delays.
We had way less interaction with people.
We talked to grandma and grandpa on the screens.
Maybe your COVID kindergartner has a harder time during lessons. Eisman says don't over-prepare them so much that they think it's not okay to be different.
We've talked about it. We're like, hey, this is going to be different. Like the friends that you made in pre-K, they're going to go to their own kindergarten.
My class is emptying out.
Their feelings are not predictive of how it will go. Anxiety and nervousness lives in anticipation.
And that was Lauren Melendez reporting. Well, coming up, taking a glimpse at the top side of a hurricane, we do get a closer look at efforts to measure Erin as it moves closer to the Florida coast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, always putting local first. Boulevard.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis.
By the Air Force showed the team dropping ocean buoys ahead of Hurricane Erin, and Defense Department said the squadron known as the Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunters is working with the U.S. Navy and partner agencies to collect real-time data on waves, currents, and of course the atmospheric turbulence to improve understanding of how tropical cyclones form and intensity. Now, the Defense Department said that the personnel also visually examined the surface of the water and sent the data to NOAA and the National Weather Service National Hurricane Center to improve those forecasts. How incredible.
Wow.
You know, my brother got to fly in one of those airplanes and he said it was boring.
I'm sorry, didn't expect that one. Boring?
Yes,
it was
because
boring.
he said that they were just flying, and obviously they were flying in the eye of the hurricane.
Right.
So it was so calm,
Pleasant.
and they were just there like.
Wasn't a little bumpy on the outer bands?
Yes, a little bit,
okay.
but that was yeah.
I would so do that.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
I told him, what?
Right. I've flown in a hurricane before, trying to get into Brownsville before
Oh my gosh,
a hurricane landed. Yeah, that was a little bumpy. So not boring at all. Boring is good with flights. You know, flying and boring, they should always go
hand
together.
to hand, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, here's the latest on Hurricane Erin. It is now a Category 2 storm. Thankfully, it's well out into the Atlantic. Of course, it's so big and powerful, these hurricanes, that they really lash the coastline with strong waves as well as heavy rainfall out there. We've got winds gusting to 110 miles per hour, max gusts 130 miles per hour. And I just have this feeling that hurricane season is just getting started. Sometimes it can go very, very late with the strong storms in October, even November. 74 is the temperature right now in Las Cruces. Beautiful. And 74 degrees, of course, that's the benefit of passing thunder showers, cooling everything down for a beautiful evening tonight. I'll look at the satellite radar composite. Well, we've got some action. These thunder showers tonight are not likely to cause any kind of flooding. Why? Well, they're moving too quickly. These storms are cooking at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Now, we do have some promising development here in Otero County, not far south from Oro Grande, on its way toward El Paso County. So we're not done. We could get other thunderstorms cropping up tonight. Las Cruces, of course, had that nice little wave of thunder showers with moderate to heavy rainfall, but it moved so quickly it did not really flood anything, but it cooled it down nicely. Same story over here on the west side. One isolated cell. We heard the thunder here at the studios, but that is out of the picture as well. Now here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. We're looking at a lot of sunshine, couple of clouds, and we will be storm free. 99 the high temperature. You're going to feel a drier feel in the air as dew point temperatures drop down into the 40s again. Allergy-wise, 9s, that's for the next 3 days, and that's in the high range. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, 65. You've already had your thunder showers and cooled down nicely. I'll keep the slightest chance of another isolated cell entering the area once we see all the storm action calm down. Nothing else tonight as we clear up. 96 your high temperature tomorrow with partly cloudy skies. Tonight for us at the International Airport, 72. We need to look to the north for possible storm development that could quickly pass through town tonight. And then high temperature tomorrow, 99 degrees. We'll have to activate Andy's oh so close to misery meter if we hit 99. Now only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Friday, partly cloudy skies and sunshine, 98. 98 and sunny on Saturday, storm free this weekend. Sunday, 97. Beautiful Monday, but hot, 97. 96 Tuesday with partly cloudy skies, ha. Wednesday comes around and that's a different story. Potentially strong thunder showers after a muggy 95 that day. 93 Thursday, 91 on Friday. Wednesday through Friday, every day presents a chance of thunder showers. Monica?
All right, Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a quick look outside using our tech stock cameras. And this is what it looks like. I-10 Lomaland looking really nice and clear out there. Not a lot of traffic to slow you down on this Wednesday. Well, the community is obviously preparing to say goodbye to the beloved cacique Jose Sierra Sr. next week. As KTSM has told you, Cacique Jose Sierra Sr. died at his Pueblo home on last Saturday. He was 81 years old, and public visitation will be next Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Mission on Zaragoza Road. The rosary will be at 7 p.m. and a funeral mass will be held at 10 a.m. Tuesday at the same location. Graveside service will be at noon Tuesday at the Mount Carmel Cemetery. Now, we did share this story all over our social media accounts, and many of you had lots of thoughts you wanted to share with us. We're going to begin with Liz Venzer, who writes, "What a beautiful legacy he's left for his family and community. May he rest in peace and continue to bless them from above." Margarita Puente posted this comment saying, "May he rest in peace and may his family find comfort in the most difficult time." And Joanna Flores left this message saying, quote, "How sad, rest in peace. My condolences to all Tigua tribe and family members. Sending prayers." We, of course, share our heartfelt condolences with the family, and we wish nothing but just beautiful thoughts and prayers headed your way. And here at KTSM, we value your opinion, and we want to hear from you. So make sure that you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Well, we're here today with Dr. Jesus Herrera, a urologist over at Las Palmas Medical Center. And Dr. Herrera, we're talking about how lifestyle could affect your urological health.
Yeah, so health has a lot of issues that can affect our urological health. Our erectile dysfunction can be affected by obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, but as well for females, incontinence, inability to urinate very well, all these, or leakage, all these things can be affected if we don't take our health. So it's very important that we do.
So for men and women, what are some ways that we can keep our urological health really skyrocketing and good?
I think 30 minutes a day of exercising, trying to eat healthy foods, vegetables, a lot of fiber so we don't get constipated, and have a routine exercise keeps us from having issues.
Yeah, sticking to basics, always good tips. Dr. Herrera, thank you very much. And of course, for more, you can always visit LasPalmasDelSolHealthcare.com to find a provider near you.
Wellness Wednesday, sponsored by Las Palmas del Sol Healthcare.
No more happy or scared. I'll take care of you.
Last look at the forecast. I hope you get some rain tonight with these little isolated and fast-moving thunder showers, because after tonight, it ends for a while. 99 the high temperature tomorrow with a couple of clouds, and we'll stay dry and mostly sunny and hot all the way through Monday. Those thunder showers return middle of next week. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. We have breaking news for you right now. The Texas House has just passed a new map that creates up to 5 new winnable congressional seats for the GOP. The maps must be approved by Texas Republican-controlled Senate and Governor Greg Abbott before they become official. Of course, we're going to have more on this coming up at 5. And speaking of which, here is a quick preview to what is coming up in just a few minutes. Striking a balance as prices on just about everything goes up are also to talk about redistricting in the state. Jesus Baltazar is live at the event, bringing us his message and new details on the legal battle between him and Attorney General Ken Paxton. This is all coming up in just a few minutes. That's it for me. I'm Monica Cortez. See you all tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Estela Casas is up next.
Hair and wardrobe provided by
and we remember.
The Hurricane Katrina tapes, Sunday at 8/7 Central on News Nation.
This is KTSM 9 News. Breaking news.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Estela Casas. Thanks for choosing KTSM 9 News Now. Happening now, the Texas House of Representatives is approving a new map that creates up to 5 new winnable congressional seats for the GOP. The map passed minutes ago after a push by President Trump for Republican-controlled states to redraw their legislative maps to give his party a better chance of holding on to control of the U.S.